Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and we're going to go into predictions mode and have a look at where will your team be at Christmas, which is going to be a fun little exercise because I was looking earlier, doing my preparation, setting up my streams and my schedule. International break isn't just for the footballers, it's for YouTubers trying to keep up with the goddamn pace of the Championship. And there is the next run of fixtures, and it is even more ridiculous than the 7 rounds we've just had across kind of 4 weeks there. This is now 9 across essentially 5 weeks. Look, in the words of Mick McCarthy, Saturday, Tuesday, on it goes. Saturday midweek, rounds 12 to 20, all banged out in a row up until Christmas. And the players get, we're not talking 2 weeks off, the players then get 1 week off between round, what number was it? Round 20 on the 19th and then Boxing Day on the 26th. But as I've said, this is the season of the grind. He who is most consistent will win this season. And we're going to have a look at where I think teams are going to stack up to Christmas. What I'm going to be using is, in the main, statistics. So there's going to be a little bit of opinion. If the statistics tell me something where I think I've got another bit of evidence that can debunk that statistic, I will override, of course, using what I hope is my common sense. Insert comment there, go ahead. But in the main, we're going to look at the form of the last 7 games. Now, I know there's been 11 games, but I think the last 7 will tell us more than the last 11, if that makes some sense, because they were all rammed in. We don't get that first 4 game bedding in period for some teams. And I just think the last 7 will be very revealing to where we go in terms of the next 9. Won't tell us everything, but guys, we're trying to predict the future. So if you want to try and give me any sensible pushback on that, that will be my answer. We are predicting the future here. So what I'm going to look at is the next 9 fixtures. How many are up against 1st to 6th in that form table? Not the league table, the form table. How many against the bottom 6 in the form table? I'm going to look at the average position of the next opponent. We are doing 9 games rather than 6, so it does even things out a little bit more. Sometimes when you're doing a 6-game analysis, you can really get what seems like an impossibly hard run compared to form. And that should give us a very simple higher or lower. Now, this is not a 1 to 24, and it's not a look at my 1 to 24. We'll do that at the end of the season, but I'm going to try and sum up. Do I think a team is going to be more likely? I'm not going to go for same position. I'm going to go for more likely to be higher or more likely to be lower. That makes my life easier. And it also makes your life easier because you can get involved in the comments and just pop a team, pop the league table down, do them all. As I always say, the best comment is your own list. But this does allow you to just hone in on your own team because I know a lot of you are frankly only interested in one team, and that's fine. Just don't debate me about all 24. Just debate me about the one then and say, I think higher, lower, etc. We'll come to that at the end. So that is going to be the plan. Let's work through then. We'll go down the league table. We'll go from top to bottom and using some stats, using the form table and the next 9 fixtures, I'm going to try and say whether your team will be higher or lower come Christmas Day. Okay, first up we have Reading, who are currently in first place. Let's see what we think there. So the form in the last 7 has Reading in 11th place. That is a huge jump between form and league position. Obviously, they had the brilliant start, but the 3 defeats tail off. Okay with the fixtures in terms of who they're facing, but the average position is a little bit trickier. So they're facing top 6 teams in the form table twice, bottom 6 twice, so maybe that evens itself out. But generally there must be a lot of second quartile teams there because average position faced is 11th, which is where they kind of are performing. At the moment, they have the 18th easiest run. So I'm afraid, Reading fans, I'm assuming that Reading by Christmas will be lower than first place. Now, many people have predicted that for a while and say that may be the safest bet in the whole thing. But stranger things have happened. Moving on to second place, Watford. And look at that. They're in second place and their form for the last 7 is that of a second place team in the division. They're facing first to 6th only once and 19th to 24th twice. Average position they're facing, given that they are second in the table and performing at second in the table over the last 7 games as well, is 13.11 with the 9th easiest run out of anybody. So it bodes well for Watford. And this is where we get into the realms of my table looking silly when you see what follows it. We've got to project them to possibly be higher. There is only one place higher. And you will see from what I'm about to say that the race is probably going to hot up for that one place above Watford. But I've got to project them higher. Where it gets complicated is that Watford are in second, performing in second, and Norwich are in third, performing in first. Something's got to give there. They can't both be first by Christmas, can they? But looking at a lot of the numbers, there's a sensible argument for either of them to be first. So perhaps they will be first and second. We don't know in what order, but projecting them higher would be the sensible thing. Norwich's form over the last 7 is the best in the division. They will, however, and this is where using the metrics I have becomes interesting, they're going to be facing first to 6th teams twice, and they do that in the next 2 games. So if we were to do this in 2 games' time, we would either be able to confidently predict Norwich first, or the stats would have them sliding a little bit. So interesting next 2 games for Norwich. Average position they'll face will be 13th. They've got the 10th easiest run. So other than the next 2 games, real key period for Norwich. If they get through that with 4 points, could be a nice coast to Christmas and either second or first place for Norwich. Quite probably, I would suggest. I'm predicting them to be higher. 4th place currently is Bournemouth. Now, here's an interesting one. Bournemouth's form over the last 7 is 10th, not 4th. They're going to be facing first to 6th only once, so that's all right. They're going to be facing 19th to 24th, second. However, average position faced 12.88 is the 11th easiest. So it's all fairly middling in terms of the numbers, yet Bournemouth are in 4th. And given what we're about to say about possibly teams below them maybe pushing up, I'm going to project Bournemouth might be lower than 4th by the time it comes to Christmas. Let's see. Form does one of 2 themes that either bears itself out or will get pushed the other way. And I will happily be wrong, but I'm going to go for Bournemouth. Might well be lower by Christmas than 4th. And a mitigating factor into me saying that is Bristol City, because Bristol City are 5th. However, their form in the last 7th is 15th. But they seem to have played some hard games in that time. So if the form is that the team has a difficult run, then so be it. Whereas if it's that the team's playing badly, that's something else. Now, facing first to 6th once, 19th to 24th 3 times. But look there. Average position they'll face in the next 9 games, 14.77. Remember, this is based on the form table. I make that the 2nd easiest run in the whole division. So what I'm suggesting is that I can ignore Bristol City's relatively poor form for position, because they're 5th and the form in the last 7 is 15th, on the basis that they've got, in my opinion, the 2nd easiest run over the next 9 games. So I'm going to project them to go higher, and that plays into the Bournemouth thing. They could both completely whack each other out of whack, if you know what I mean. But hey, we'll see. I'm putting my neck on the line. I'll go for Bristol City to go a little bit higher than 5th. I'm also going for Swansea to move up the table. Again, please don't literally then say that I've got Bournemouth now falling about 8 places. I'm just saying, take the team in isolation. They're likely to go higher because form from the last 7 is 13th. So they're not performing their league position at the moment. However, they've got the 8th easiest run. They'll be facing an average of 13.44. They do have 2 games against the top 6, but that weighs itself out with 3 against the bottom 6. So I've got Swansea to possibly trend a little bit higher. So in the top 6 at the moment, I've got 4 of them up, 2 of them down. I know it doesn't add up into an actual league table, but get into the spirit of what we're trying to do here. I'd be disappointed to see myself be right here. Borough, I've got to go lower than 7th. Is it the peak of their good form? Their form in the last 7 actually is better than 7th position. They're in 4th. However, there is some sense that they're really punching their weight, aren't they? And there may be a couple of teams below them that we're about to talk about that are not yet punching their weight. They face top 6 twice, bottom 6 twice. Next game against Norwich is a key one, isn't it? Average position faced will be 12.22, 16th easiest run in the division. So one of 2 things is going to happen. Either I'm going to be right and there's going to be a sense of regression to the mean and Borough are punching above their weight and Warnock's doing fantastically, the manager of the month. Or, and I'll be happy about this because I find Warnock very amusing and I would like to see him in the mix this season, they're going to keep it going and we can throw those stats coming up out the window. So let me know what you think. I've got Borough trending lower. And hot on their heels, in 8th place are Stoke, whose form in the last 7 has them in 3rd place in the league. Facing 1st to 6th twice. They've got games against the bottom 6 6 times. They're going to face an average position of 14th, which is the 6th easiest run in the division. Therefore, I've got Stoke trending upwards. I'm saying this is the year of the grind. For God's sake, 9 rounds between now and December the 19th, whatever it was the actual date. That will serve Stoke well, especially if we do get the 5 subs back, which our friend Russ has just texted me about. 9th, I've got Millwall. I've got them pushing higher as well. Form in the last 7th. Would have them in 8th place, so they may not move by much. But look down there, 4th easiest run over the next 9 games, facing an average position of 14.22. They only face 1 of the top 6, only 2 of the bottom 6. So maybe some draws might stop. Rowett loves a draw, but you would have to be optimistic to be going higher if you were a Millwall fan. Luton, brilliant start, up there in 10th. However, the form has them in 17th place over the last 7 games. They will be facing 2 top 6 teams in the form chart over the next 9 games. 2 bottom 6 teams. It's all very much, if I've got them trending lower, it might only be 1 or 2 places. Because look, 10th place, 12th easiest run, facing 12th place on average. It's all kind of gravitating towards the middle of the table for Luton. But that would represent success for Luton this season and more power to them. I've got Brentford trending upwards there, along with Stoke, a team that I don't think are punching their weight yet. And would likely, when we start to think about a possible top 5, we think about the 3 year 1 parachute teams who look strong and Brentford and Stoke. At the moment, that's where my head's at today. That may change by the weekend. Who knows? The form in the last 7 has them in 5th position, so they're not performing their league position, they're performing above it. They've got the 7th easiest run and they'll be facing an average position of 13.66 with 3 games against bottom 6 teams. So I've got Brentford going to be trending higher going into Christmas. 12th place is Blackburn, and even though they've got Adam Armstrong, the top scorer in the league, some sense of flat track bullying is starting to add up now. Scored really well in games against teams with red cards and teams lower than them in the division. However, form in the last 7 is 18th despite all of Armstrong's goals. They're going to be facing top 6 teams 4 times in the next 9 games based on that form chart. Their average position faced is 9.77, the 22nd easiest run of the next 9 games. Only 2 teams, based on that form chart, had more difficult runs going into Christmas. So I've got to have Blackburn trending downwards from 12th. Let's see if Adam Armstrong can prove that wrong. But that's what the numbers are telling me. Huddersfield, I've got trending upwards. The form in the last 7 has got them in 9th. A bit of a tricky split though. 3 games against top 6, 3 games against bottom 6 there. 14th easiest run, but average position facing 12.44. I suspect if you said to both Luton and Huddersfield fans at the start of the season, you might be falling over each other for 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th around there, they'd be happy. So I've got Huddersfield just trending upwards into Christmas. Preston, just been weird at the moment. I just think they're probably a couple of positions too low. So I've got them trending higher, although not much in it, is it? Form in the last 7 is 14th. They're in 14th. Average position faced going forward is going to be 12.66. They've got the 13th easiest run. So the numbers are saying they might only go up 1-2 places. If they do go up, I've got them going up a couple of places. However, if we get the weird, erratic, maddening sort of win brilliantly away, lose at home quite a lot, then who knows what will happen for Preston. I've got them trending upwards. Cardiff, they just seem to be in too low a position. Their form from the last 7 is 12th. It's too many draws, isn't it, again with Harris. They're in 15th place, going to face the top 6 3 times. Average position they'll face is 10.77, and they have got the 20th easiest run. So it's not an easy run going forward, but I just can't see them being lower than 15th. And I do think Neil Harris will actually start to be in trouble if they are 13th. I know I saw Second Tier Pod, our sort of companions in covering this, had a really good stat of them actually performing really well since Neil Harris had been in. But I think if we isolate it to this season, not so much. So just to justify that comment about him possibly being in trouble. Maybe if they're 13th or something after Christmas, I don't know if Vincent Tan will be happy with that. But I still think they'll be higher than 15th. Barnsley, so Barnsley is 16th, and I think this all permeates on them being in a false position, starting the season with Struber and him sort of doing a runner basically, and them not winning until Ishmael really came in. They're in 16th, but the form over the last 7 has them in 6th. They're only facing one top 6 team, and they have the 3rd easiest run over the next 9 games. So it looks like a fairly safe bet that they'll be higher than 16th, might even get 2 or 3 places higher than 16th or more if that form continues and the sort of fixtures predict themselves in the way that I've suggested. 17th is a bit of a worrying one because it's Birmingham. Form in the last 7th has them 21st, so not performing their league position over the last 7. Got to play 3 top 6 form teams. Average position faced 10.88, 19th easiest. So difficult, in other words. Not performing their league position and sort of disproportionately difficult run compared to other teams means I've got them trending lower than 17th, which they won't be happy with because that's obviously heading towards that bottom 6, which we're heading towards in our list. At the moment, they're our QPR. They're in 18th. The form in the last 7 is 16th, but the run is difficult. 21st easiest run. Sorry, I thought I said the same number for Birmingham. My number's wrong. Hopefully I don't. Facing 3 top 6 teams, 2 bottom 6 teams. So I'm gonna have the fixtures coming up overriding what they've done in the last 7, and maybe a little trend down, which would put them into the bottom 6th. Never know with Warburton, do you? Open and attacking goes one of 2 ways, doesn't it? As I always say when I'm hedging my bets. But I've got them going lower QPR, maybe not by much when we look at what's beneath. This might be a factor in QPR going lower. Is Rotherham are in 19th. The form for the last 7 has them 19th. However, the next 9 games, the average position they'll face will be 14th. which makes Rotherham the 5th easiest run in the division over the next 9 games. They haven't been, I think they lost 3-0 at Reading, didn't they? But they've been competitive in a lot of the games. A few tight ones going against them. We'll see how the season's going to be for Rotherham, won't we, over the next 9? Can they take advantage now of what, on paper, based on the last 7 games, is a decent run? And can they push out of that bottom 6? I'm predicting them to do so. I'm also predicting Forest to do so. And I do have to insert a lot of caveats into this one, because the last 7 games, hopefully, if you're a Forest fan, needs to outride what, on paper, based on the last 7 games, is the most difficult run any team has in the division. Forest will be facing an average of 8.66 position. They're going to be facing 4 top 6 teams in terms of the form in the last 7. However, their own form is way above their league position. Their form since Chris Hughton arrived is, as you can see, he did arrive 7 games ago, didn't he? I think I've got that right. 7th. And they're in 20th in the league. So, the last 7 games and the entirety of Hughton's tenure suggests that the Lamucci start of the season was an aberration that's got them in a completely false position in the league. We will see, because the theory is, over the last 7 games, they are the 7th best team, and they only have to face 8.66, which, although is the hardest run in the division, is actually beneath them if they're in 7th place over the last 7. It's a difficult one to call. I'm struggling to get my head around it, but they're going to move up from 20th, I think. I think that's where we're going to be going with this one. Moving on, 21st position is Coventry, and they have it the complete other way round than Forest. Whilst Forest, on paper, based on the last 7 games, have the most difficult run, Coventry have the easiest run in the whole division, according to the form of the last 7 games. Now, it does have to override, outweigh, whatever word you want to use, the complete other way round to Forest. Their form over the last 7 games has been 23rd in the league, very bad, below where they actually are in 21st. But you've got to say, with that average position faced of 16th, 16.11, and the fact they're facing 5 of the bottom 6, they are also in the bottom 6, ergo they can't face themselves. So they're facing the entire bottom 6 in the form table over the next 9 games. So I've got to have them pushing higher and away from 21st. If not, it's going to be a long, hard season for Coventry if they can't capitalise on supposed out-of-form teams as it stands today. Wycombe in 22nd. Well, the form over the last 7 outlies the position because they are 20th in the last 7. However, they are going to be facing the top 6 in the last 7 3 times over this next 9 games. Average position faced will be 12.22. 17th easiest run. Sadly for Wycombe, I'm afraid that means I'm going to have them trending downwards from 22nd, which is not good news for the Chairboys. Let's see if they can keep up the 20th place form. But remember, that's 20th place form added to the losing streak over the first 4 games that I'm not including in that. I know it ran another 3 games into this form. But there you go. We're trying to pull statistics and seeing which ones project the future. Let's see if that one does. It might not, and Wycombe might prove us wrong. Let's see. I've got them trending downwards. Sheffield Wednesday, again, we've got to pull mitigating factors on this because there's lots of numbers there that have Wednesday in the bottom 3 at Christmas. They're currently 23rd, albeit deducted 6 points. However, the form from the last 7 games is 22nd, and they've got the 23rd easiest run against an average position of 9.66. But they've changed manager, and will they get a rise in form from 22nd in the last 7 games under Monk with Tony Pulis? If they don't, they're in trouble. But we just don't know. Are we going to get the Pulis of Crystal Palace and Stoke, or are we going to get the Pulis of latterly West Brom and Middlesbrough? In which case, they might be in trouble. Who knows? I've got them moving up, though, from 23rd. We'll see if I'm wrong. in due course, won't we? Derby, again, we're full of caveats here. At least the run is easier than Wednesday's 15th easiest run. Average position they're going to be facing of 12.22. However, we know they're bottom of the league, and obviously they're bottom of the form table. The last 7's been horrendously bad for Derby. However, and this is real predicting future caveats, takeover, managerial position open, we're expecting a trend upwards, aren't we? Whether that equates to league position or not, I do not know. So that takes us through the entire division of where will your team be at Christmas. Look, in the main, statistically based, but still, it's a bit of fun. I've essentially taken the last mad run of games and used that to project the next mad run of games, and only with a little bit of opinion thrown in from me. Yes, I'm sure I'll get a comment saying, Ben, oh, you can't predict. Well, I can, but they'll say you can't predict the next 9 games based on the last 7. Well, I've tried to throw in a bit of opinion with it, a small bit, albeit. If that's your view, then fine. But just remember the caveat to all of this, and my go-to response will be, look, we're predicting the future. So be interesting to revisit this and see how many are correct when we do get to Christmas. And be interesting to see your projections. You can do them completely based on opinion if you want, but try and give me a full set if you are gonna throw them in. It won't take long. 24 teams. All you've got right is higher or lower afterwards. In the words of Bruce Forsyth on Play Your Cards Right, indeed. So that's a little bit of fun. It takes us into this mad run. It's Tuesday when I'm recording this now, so please hold me to account. That's fine. Show me this video again at Christmas. Maybe we'll revisit it in that week off in between and have a little bit of fun with it. See how my highs or lowers went. Do get involved yourself. And all I can say is buckle in now, because if we can bring up again, it's going to be a hell of a ride. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 straight weeks of Saturday midweek plus another Saturday on the end. That is 9 game weeks in essentially 5 Saturdays worth of football. It's a mad season. It's all about the grind. The 3 parachute year 1 teams look strong. It could just go to form this season, couldn't it? It could go to size and power and strength, let's just say. But as I always say, we will know a hell of a lot more when we do get to Christmas. And believe me, guys, blink and you'll miss it. We will be at Christmas very, very quickly. And the games, thick and fast is a cliche. If there's anything above thick and fast, thicker and faster is what is about to happen. Right, get your comments in on the highs and lowers. As I always say, the best comment is your own list. But you can just pick out your own team and give me a higher or lower. Please give me your reasoning. And for the 9 billionth zillionth time, it takes a great deal more intelligence, skill, foresight, whatever you want to say, to give your own ideas than it does to tear apart mine. So even if you are triggered by what I've said, even if your self-esteem has been affected by me saying your football team will be in a lower position at Christmas than it is now, try and maintain your calm and give me a reasoned response as to why I'm wrong. We get a lot of nonsense in the comments on YouTube. This channel, I hope, is a high watermark for good debate and good analysis. But I'm just trying to put the criteria out there for what's going to help us all have a good dialogue and have really what I want to be the most considered channel if people want to look at the Championship and get good analysis. There we go. Thank you everybody for watching. And the question was, where will your team be at Christmas? Higher or lower? Get your thoughts in the comments. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.